Hello, this is Ron with Rising Sun Properties. Today we're looking at another property in Coobe, tucked away in this quiet little neighborhood. You can see from the looks of it, it looks pretty good. There is a garage, it's quite small, but we were able to fit our little K-car rental in there. Parking was a little bit tricky, but we figured it out. This property is 4.8 million yen, 33,000 USD, 2-story 40K, 72 square meter building. It's wooden, built in 1984, and about an 18-minute walk from the JR Tokaido station. So for the price, again, I say this in a lot of my videos, you're going to see why it is this price and why you might want to consider trying to bump up your budget to buy something in a little bit more better condition. So again, from the outside, it doesn't look too bad. It's got this nice little patio, quiet neighborhood. I did like this patio, cool place to hang out. Barbecuing in Japan is, I'm not going to say it's a no-no, but not a lot of people do it, and it might cause some issues with the neighbors. You can see there are people living in all these homes around there. Right away, you see that foundational crack there at the top. And just trying to walk around the property a little bit. There are shutters that you can shut when you're away from the home, or there's a typhoon coming, something like that, heavy winds. It's right up against other homes, which is quite common in the cities in Japan, so just keep that in mind. If you want something with more space in the yard, you'll probably have to, for sure, either spend more money or just get out of the city and expect to have to drive to the home. Again, looking at the foundation, you can see some cracks around there. Didn't look horrible, the foundation and cracks, but they're there. You can see one there down to the bottom left. Walk all the way around. Here's a little side door to get into the bathroom and the kitchen across the way. Wasn't able to walk all the way around because it gets a little tight right there. That is a quick look around, and here's at the front that crack that looks pretty substantial. You know, they judge the cracks by how thick they are. That one looked pretty wide. Coming into the home, I don't know, I have a feeling that this home was smoked in. It didn't smell smoke, but the walls look pretty stained and just hasn't really been taken care of, and not sure how long it's been abandoned. Had to hold that door shut because it keeps opening on its own. Here's one room up front towards the balcony. Again, you see the walls are discolored. The floor was a little bit soft. You can see there, kind of sinking in. Sometimes that is due to moisture getting underneath and, making everything soft. The walls just, I don't know what exactly was going on in this home, but I am thinking that is all smoke stained. Again, there wasn't any really bad smells, a little, stagnant because no one's living in here and no air coming through, but didn't stink per se. Here's the kitchen. See, again, the walls just off colored. Changing the wallpaper isn't that big of a deal. You can do that for maybe, 1,000, 1,200 USD, 150, 200,000 Japanese yen. Here's a look at the kitchen. You can see it's pretty old. Probably would need to be renovated. In fact, this whole home needs to be completely renovated. There's a hole for an aircon there. You'd have to install it yourself. Aircons are not that expensive to get installed. Probably, $500 for a used one that's in good condition, or 1,000, 1,300 USD for a brand new one. Here's the sink. I don't think the water was on. Nothing is working. Look underneath the foundation. Doesn't look too bad, but I've definitely seen better. Try to get my camera down there and get a good view. There's back to the left. It's hard to see in this video, but there was some deterioration there. So overall, I've seen a lot worse foundations, but it's an older home. Closet space underneath the stairs. It's quite common in a lot of these homes. Does have one toilet. This looks like it was renovated at some point, but again, the wallpaper is pretty bad and would need to be replaced. Baby blue. This kind of home, I talk about it all the time. You guys probably get tired of hearing me talk about it, but yeah, a little bit soft there. You know, if you want to renovate, this is a home to consider as long as the foundation, everything's sound. However, you know, it's best, I think, just to raise your budget and spend more on something that's newer or already renovated. If you have experience in renovations and you want to do it yourself, that's completely fine. That's up to you. But I always try to push people into something newer, already renovated, where you don't have to worry about that. Because if you're trying to manage it from abroad, it can be you know, a bit of work. We do have services we can introduce to help out with that, but just something extra you'd have to do. So some people want to buy cheap and renovate it over time. Again, if you know what you're getting into, it's completely your choice in the end. We just try to advise and consult along the way. Here's the second floor, just big open tatami, you know, everything again looking pretty rough, some signs of possible water damage. Just, it's an older home, so it's like buying a used car and not wanting any rust on it, right? It's just you know, an old classic car that's in good shape. It's going to be hard to find, and if you find one that is already you know, been serviced and good to go, then it's going to cost more. So same with homes. Typical height of the door frames. Again, just has a pretty old, I didn't get any weird feelings, just this very old feeling to the home. You can see the walls, the ceilings, everything. There's a place for the aircon, but obvious water damage right there. Fixing the roof, if you have to replace the whole roof, it can be, you know, $10,000. If you want to replace just parts of it where it's leaking, again, the floor is a little bit soft, that just might be old tatami. If you need to replace just a bit of the roof, it can be as cheap as like $1,000, but always something to keep in mind. There's water damage there, so it's not just in one place. It looked kind of everywhere, to be honest. For the price, can't really complain. More water damage. Small balcony up top. So view, again, neighborhood wasn't bad. Very quiet, residential. Decent view. You know, I do love Coobe, the area. I say this all the time. I think it's a great place to consider buying. It's local. People are quite friendly. You don't have the over-tourism like you do in Kyoto. You've got a Shinkansen line, accessible to airports, Osaka, and other places. Crack on the walls. This is all the way at the top, so that looks pretty substantial. And a look down from the top to peek out the window. Again, you can see people are living next door, but no yard really to talk about in this home. Just that small concrete balcony up front. This is downstairs again. Sorry, I missed this part. Putting it in now. Green floors. That's pretty interesting color. This is the bathroom and sink area and shower and bath. You would put the washing machine right there next to the sink. The bathtub's quite small. I think that's a heater there, which is kind of an interesting place to have it right above your bath. And so that is a property in Coobe. Again, for the price, this is what you can expect. So, you know, keep that in mind when looking. Thank you so much for watching the videos. Please like and subscribe for more videos. Always more to come. We are a licensed real estate agent. If you have any questions, want a free consultation to know about our services and fees, reach out via WhatsApp or email. Thank you very much and have a great day.